Hey guys, my name is JessiMew, and welcome back to the Hard Mode Challenge. In the last episode, the Bearyenas came out in full force. Not only did we see our very first baby with that Bearyena snout, which we've been trying to breed into our tribe for such a long time now, but we also have 4 separate Bearyena guards to train. Some of them have grown up, of course, like Tabby's mate, who should be somewhere out here in the tall grass. This is probably him over here. The only way we're really going to be able to tell is by their ages. But wait a second, do we actually have a wanderer over here too? Oh, another little stowaway of the Bearyenas, perhaps. Oh, she disappeared? She's a little bit skittish, I guess. Okay. She's scooting off after the bunnies? Oh my gosh. Maybe she's just like our other bunny lover over here, Ducro. Maybe she happens to know him. But we're going to have to find a way to surround her if we want to meet her. Maybe Reese can come up here and lure her out into the open? Though to be honest, he only seems to be calling those bunnies toward him right now. She is super shy. Maybe we'll have to enlist the help of Lander too. He does like creeping around the tall grass, so if he can get himself in here, he might be able to soothe her mind a little bit more than our other more imposing creatures. Hello, little one. Oh, you have the most adorable spots. She reminds me of some of our mushroom families from previous series, and she also has that mysterious stinky tail in her genetics too. If only our Bearyena hybrid could actually breed. Unfortunately, he's completely infertile, so he won't be able to pass his stinky tail to his babies. They would have made perfect matches though, that is such a bummer. Well, at least that gives us an opportunity to keep pulling that into our genetics, because I think that big fluffy stinky tail would be really nice to have on our babies. Now, if she comes a little bit closer to Hero, we could invite her on this turn. So I'm going to leave him right there for now, and instead we'll have Orion clear out some of the grass around the nest, because we want to make sure that our babies are going to be safe, of course. We should probably have Tabby breed with her mate again too, but we have to hunt him down. Yeah, he's one of the fully grown Bearyenas, of course. So let's check this one first. No, that is not your mate, unfortunately. He's a little bit too young, so he must be the second Bearyena that we found. I do wish that we could still rename our friendly Bearyenas. That would be an excellent way to mark them off and tell them apart, especially in situations like this. Not that I ever thought it would be possible for us to keep 4 friendly Bearyenas at once, but at least you can scoot over to your mate's side in this turn, and hopefully if he doesn't get too far away, you'll be able to breed with him next time too. You're lucky that Orion is so willing to take care of your babies. He actually seems like he would make a pretty good father too. We'll have to see if he can maybe have some little babies of his own before he ends up passing away. And likewise, maybe Rarely should have a baby too. Even though she was one of the creatures who inherited the derp snout over the Bearyena snout, she does still have some of those important Bearyena genetics, like the Bearyena ears. So if we could keep that alive in our lines, that might also be very helpful. And I think she actually lines up perfectly with Kiba. Their immunity genes are different, so perhaps we'll have to consider that for our nest over by the healing fruits. I'm sure Sage would love to have brand new little siblings to take care of. And now that the Dodomingo is out of our nest, this might be our only shot to use it. So Sage, come on over here for now, just to keep the Dodomingo away. That way he won't be likely to steal it again as we bring Rarely over to use it. She is going to need the normal eyesight in her first mutation menu slot, because we don't want that blindness gene getting too far into our genetics. And other than that, I feel it would be helpful to try to keep the big nose on her babies, rather than the derp snout. Though we could also just put the Bearyena snout in her genetics. Oh, I forgot about that. Yeah, we unlocked that because we have a dandelion in our tribe now. Yeah, why don't we give that a try? Since Rarely was technically supposed to come from our original Bearyena hybrid line, it would be super fitting if one of her babies had the snout that we were looking for. So we'll scoot her on up here, then Sage can move out of the way so she can take that nest for her own. And it seems as though the Dodomingo has completely moved on. Yeah, he is nowhere to be found. He must have discovered a different nest for himself, somewhere for a Dodomingo to roost quietly without all of these Bearyenas stomping around their home. I guess Hero still hasn't enticed our new wanderer in his direction. Well, she's getting a little bit closer, so there is a possibility. We'll just have to check in after we take care of some of our other turns. Like Pebbleheart, for instance, who I think is going to try to make his own place in the world. He knows that his father has this area pretty well taken care of. And there you are, little one. Okay, Hero, go ahead and invite our newest member of the tribe. I wish they would be safe to breed together, but they do both have the blindness in their genetics, and I don't think that's something that we want to risk. So we'll have to start our stinky-tailed family with somebody else. But back to you, Pebbleheart. I'm sorry for getting distracted. We're going to bring you toward our hunters so you can try to find your own place in the world. So as you say goodbye to your parents, I think we'll bring Cupcake over to her mate's side, perhaps to breed with him again, but also just to make sure that he's not going to get ambushed because he is pretty hard at seeing. Now, Danger, I'm pretty sure you know that pretty soon you're going to be saying goodbye to your children too. They probably also want to make their grand places in this world. They do all have the toxic body in their inactive traits, so these would probably be good creatures for us to bring back toward the Heartlands, where all of our toxic-bodied creatures are currently waiting to start families of their own. Sandwich definitely needs somebody who could pass that on to their babies. That way they can take advantage of all of these poison berries. I'm glad to see that you still have a couple of berries left on your bush over here, Fable. He's actually been pretty lucky lately. Despite all of the bunnies hopping around, he has been able to steal a few morsels for himself too. Let's have Hunter go down the shore to pick up this bunny as well. And then we'll go back to our beaches, where we have some meat to pick up with Vulpix. And as always, Sandwich has way too much work for him to do by himself. He's trying his best, but there's just too much ground for him to cover. Let's send him off in this direction. That way he can chase the bunnies back toward the hunters. But he should also be able to meet some new faces once they start their journeys too. I feel as though Otter may actually be very curious about our new wanderer. We did just find Roku the other day. It seemed as though he migrated from some very distant island, one where the water body was strong in his tribe, and he probably has quite a few interesting stories to share. Unfortunately, not all were able to complete this journey, because it seems as though Rocket has passed away on the shores, which is probably leaving Ember feeling very sad right now. Though one of you pointed out that Roku actually looks quite a bit like his father Webbs, so maybe that's why he wanted to tag along after all. Feeling a little bit nostalgic remembering his father, who was always just one step behind him. He was the one who set him up to be mentored by Rocket in the beginning, and that's why he knows how to pick up all of these acorns so well. Let's see if Rihanna can knock down some more for him. There we go, so you can gather up the food, while we potentially start a little family between Rihanna and Roku. I'm really hoping that these special genes are going to get passed on in their babies. But is there anything that we need to try to alter? I know he has the webbed toes, but I think that would actually be pretty helpful if his babies do have the water body, because then they'll be able to swim super fast in the deepest portions of the ocean. So yeah, I think for now, we will just place the ram horns into both of their mutation menus, and we'll leave their second slots open just in case there's something different that we need to try out instead. Let's scoot you right up here, Rihanna, to swipe up that bunny. Alright, giving your newest baby a nice big feast as soon as they join the world. Then Baron, maybe we ought to have you join them too? I don't like you being out here all by yourself, though I do know that you're trying to keep an eye on your healing fruits. I suppose we could always bring him to the stream. Yeah, because look at how many fish are down here. Okay, you might end up being our little fisherman. But we only have a Comet left, who I believe was trying to make his way toward this tree, just to see if there was anything else out here that he might want to bring back to his family. We kind of want to spread out our warriors now that we have so many Bearyenas. I feel like we just don't have to worry so much about our creatures not being able to protect themselves. We have lots of very intimidating beasts ready to swoop in and save the day. So let's see what Rarity's baby is going to look like first, because I am quite curious to see, if she's going to have the Bearyena's snout. No Bearyena's snout, but that mask. Oh, that gorgeous mask. I think it's actually the same one that Sage has. That's very interesting. So Kiba has a very prominent mask in his genetics. Let's have you very, very quickly swipe up this bunny though. That way you'll have something fresh to feed to your newest little sister. Yeah, she is so pretty. Oh, and she has the spiky body too. Oh, that is excellent. A 9 in strength. Nothing is really going to mess with her with those spikes on her back. She has the ram horns, the cracker jaw. You are just a little beast all your own. The next name on my list is Willow. So welcome to the tribe, little one. And I hope you will have many, many babies in your future too, because I'm sure you're going to make a strong line. Oh no, but it looks like we might have a unfriendly Bearyena over here. And this one, unfortunately, is not carrying any little Bearyena babies in its shadow. So we're going to have to find a way to get rid of him pretty quickly, especially because he's right next to all of our babies. Though that being said, our babies are so strong now, I think they could probably take him down pretty easily. Let's have Zaid use both of his turns to swipe at the Bearyena, and then I'm pretty sure that Luna should be able to finish him off. Oh my goodness, the warrior children of the tribe. You must be pretty proud of them, Danger. You didn't even have to lift a finger in this case. But Tabby, did your mate run away again? Oh my goodness, running straight back toward those nests actually. So he must be excited to have another baby too. Oh, that's why, because he's getting so close to the end of his lifespan. I mean, technically it really doesn't matter if we breed with this Bearyena or a different Bearyena guard. It's all going to be the same genetics-wise. But you guys know how much I love making stories, so it feels just wrong to have her find somebody else. Maybe once our mate passes away, she'll have to consider finding a new Bearyena love to keep her company. But Lander, I guess you are learning from your sister after all, because those bunnies didn't even see you coming. We'll have to pick up all of that fresh meat as we bring Isis out to meet all of her new tribe mates. Maybe Hero could help guide your way, since he does know his way around this part of the island quite well. He can help you get down to the shore so you can meet all of the new babies. She could actually help them pick up those pesky shells with their nimble fingers, as long as we can manage to find them. I figured that a Dandelion especially would probably love to find shells of his own, start a little collection with his brother. Benedict at least can pick them up too, because he does have the cracker jaw. But let's bring them out to some of these other islands. Oh, like this one over here. Yeah, the one that is kind of like a twin to our original Cracker Jaw Island. Who better to explore it first than one of our little Cracker Jaw hybrids? We'd best have Orion come after them just in case they do draw the attention of leeches. I think if he stays on the shore here, he should be able to pick leeches off of both of them. And then I suppose Isis can come over here too, because we know that she's going to want to follow. And by the way, Rarely, I'm pretty sure you may have unwittingly adopted another son. This Bearyena seems very, very eager to follow you around and to meet your new little family members too. So we'll bring her out of the nest, maybe scoot her out this way to light up the area a bit more, just so we don't have to worry about dangers spawning on this side, because we know that Sage is going to take very, very good care of Willow. He won't let anything get to her while he's standing guard. Comet should be able to make his way to the stump as well. Oh, maybe he could actually be a guard for these creatures, since they're starting their new families. And hello, little one. Oh, unfortunately he doesn't have the water body, but he does have the platypus beak in his inactive traits. It is such a far cry from what used to be over here. The last time Comet was in this area, where he was born in fact, was when there were plenty of hybrid babies running around. And now instead we're hoping for water genetics. So it'll be a little bit difficult for him to wrap his head around, but I'm sure he'd still be willing to help out. The next name on my list is Wesley. So welcome to the tribe, little one. Hopefully you will be successful in passing the platypus beak onto your babies very soon. Roku really doesn't have very much longer on his lifespan, so if we want to spread those water genes around to his babies, we're going to want to do that as fast as possible. And that's all well and good because Otter is still quite curious about this creature, and I think she's eager to potentially start a family with him too. Ever since he passed by their shores, she's been looking out to the horizon, trying to catch a glimpse of him again. So let's see if there's anything in her mutation menu that we could possibly change. Thankfully, she seems pretty healthy, and she even does have the antlers in her genetics, so I suppose there is a possibility that we could see those on her babies. I guess for now, all I'll do is place the normal blood clotting gene into her first slot, just so we might see that on her babies instead of the hemophilia. We definitely don't want that on the babies who are going to potentially get munched on by leeches. We'll bring her up here to use this nest on the next turn. And then I suppose, Roku, you can try your best yet again to crack open some of these acorns, though as we know from experience, he has never had too much luck with that. Maybe that's why he ended up leaving his old home with all of the water bodies. Maybe they made fun of him for not being able to pick up the shells as easily as they could. So he wanted to move somewhere else where he would be more accepted. Now, Sandwich, you can finally set yourself up between these two poison berry bushes. That way you'll have plenty of food to pick up for your family, and you can get to know our hunters well too. Let's see if they can smell any other little bunnies in the area. Oh my gosh, again, all of these roots. Yeah, that's why we're trying to bring little Pebble Heart off in this direction. We'll leave the tiny roots to his father, and have him impress the hunters with his digging abilities. And now that their eldest son has left the home, Cupcake should be ready to come on down to this permanent nest where they've dug up so many of these roots. Oh my goodness, what a mess. Your new little son or daughter is going to have quite an interesting time exploring in these parts. Splashing around in all that mud. Oh, Cupcake, you are going to have your hands full. No leeches over here though, so that's a good sign. And because Orion can't even catch up to that bunny anyways, let's have him come over here so we can light up more of this island for the babies. Now I believe we're pretty much out of safe turns to make, so let's see if Tabby's next baby is going to be just as lucky as a Dandelion. Oh my gosh, yes! Another one of the Bearyenas snouts! Oh, and this one actually does have a tiny little bit of fertility. So while it's not much, at least she will be able to carry on our hybrid lines. And there's that stinky tail again. So I guess that's another chance for us to pull that into our genetics. But first, let's just make sure. Do a quick sweep of the area. Since we haven't seen the killer Bearyenas in so long, I am a little bit nervous. Especially since so many of our creatures are out in the grass right now. We just have to make sure that nobody is going to fall victim to our enemies. I mean, pretty soon, we're going to be able to send these strong creatures out to war to fight all of those Bearyenas that once caused us so much trouble. But the next name on my list is Nutmeg. So welcome to the tribe, little one. You are the very first of our female hybrids, So I'm sure you're going to make a wonderful family someday. I love how this little Bearyena cub came up to say hello to the new baby too. It's pretty clear to me that they're looking to get to know little Nutmeg. But I guess that means that Tabby's mate is going to be passing away today. And he seems to have gone off very, very far, in search of food, no doubt, to feed to all of his babies. So while Tabby may never see her mate again, she does have her brother Lander by her side, who would be willing to pick up all of this tall grass to make sure that her babies are going to be safe. Even though he does love roaming around in the tall grass so much, he's willing to sacrifice some of his playtime if it means making sure that his family is well protected. Now, Hero might be having trouble catching up to this bunny, but I do believe Dandelion might be able to turn around and swipe it up instead. Oh my gosh, between all of our Bearyenas and the bunnies, I mean, this is not a good place for you to be hopping around, little guy. You might want to reconsider your actions, because if you're still here on the next turn, then you are going to end up being our lunch. So Dandelion unfortunately might be a little bit distracted, but we can still bring Benedict down into the ocean again. Oh no, and one of the leeches found him. Okay, Orion, now is going to be your time to shine. I guess we're going to have to let the leech attach to Benedict, unless it decides to turn for him instead. If we move Isis over here, nope, it's going to go right for the baby. Of course, a very, very easy meal for a leech. Well, Orion, you better pick that off of the little baby before he ends up getting hurt. That is one of the unfortunate downsides to setting up on these islands, but that's why we make sure that our creatures always have a buddy with them. It might be time for Sage to start teaching Willow about all of these healing fruits. As the guardians of their medicines, he knows he has a lot to tell her. So we'll bring Rarely back to her side. That way she should be able to take her very first steps out of this nest, so she can investigate the healing fruits for herself. She's going to have to get very, very familiar very quickly with all of these different plants. They're some of the most important things on this island, and I'm sure all of our tribe mates understand that very well. Now, Comet, you can finally rest high atop your throne. Light up this entire area for the tribe. Oh my goodness. I had no idea that you could see that far, little guy. You're going to be able to tell these creatures if anything is barreling in their direction, which is great because Otter can now settle down inside her nest too, and on the next turn, she should be able to have her very first baby. I do see that we have little bunnies scooting around the grass. Oh no, you could have swiped that one up. It's teasing you over there again, as the bunnies so love to do. So I guess for now, we'll just have Rihanna scoot her way out of the nest, maybe breed again with Roku before she picks up more food. Oh no, that's not a good sound. I have a feeling that might be our creatures over by the islands. Oh, of course it is. The leeches were just biding their time, waiting for just the right moment to swoop in and strike. They're getting their revenge on Orion too. Well, luckily you do have quite a few creatures to come to your aid, but with that hemophilia, we're going to have to act very, very quickly. Oh, and we can't forget about this baby either, who looks so much like his brother. Oh my gosh, are you like Pebbleheart's twin? You even have the same color eyes? That is so strange. They are literally practically identical twins. I think the only difference is in some of their inactive traits, and in their immunity genes as well. Kind of fitting though, because I feel like Cupcake and little Ducro are probably missing their first son very, very much, after he left to go on his own grand adventures. So now they have a new little baby to spoil. The next name on my list is Chai. So welcome to the tribe, little one. And I'm sure you're going to be able to help your father dig up all of his tasty roots, of course. If we can find any more out here anyway. There is one over here by that poison berry bush. So I guess we'll have to bring him around as best as we can, because again, that pesky eyesight situation is getting in the way. Now Danger, I think it might finally be time for you to say goodbye to your daughters, because they seem quite interested in following Pebbleheart as he makes his way over to the hunters. So it's going to be a bit of a sad occasion for you, but you already know that your daughters can definitely take care of themselves. They've already proven that you have nothing to fear. We will have little Zaid stay by your side though. He will keep you safe with those double claws of his, as Raveneye and Luna join Pebble and meet some brand new friends. Pebbleheart is going to be in heaven. As soon as he lands himself in the middle of all of these tasty roots, he is never going to go hungry again. And likewise, the quiet and dutiful Sandwich is probably watching from afar with curiosity. I'm sure he's going to want to get to know these new ladies of the tribe too. And in the next episode, hopefully we'll see more rainbow babies popping up in our nests. I feel like we're finally successfully carving out like separate families for them all. Separate distinct features on each of our different lines, our toxic bodies, our hybrids of course, and the very, very unique masked healers of the tribe, who I'm sure our founders would be so proud of. This is probably what they had in mind when they landed in the Deadly Hills and found all of those healing fruits. Izmi is definitely smiling down on this branch of the family. But for now, thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you all next time. Bye guys!